Ever written 17 prompts and still done absolutely nothing? Congrats, you might be a procrastinator. Today we're diving into AI terms where productivity is key, prompts are personal, and the algorithm called Spectator Al is watching you. Hi pros. How something is languaged makes a huge difference in how it is received. In the beginning there was the word, and you know what? Right now we need words and the language to understand ourselves in this new landscape. Let's ditch the tech speak for a moment and talk and feel like humans. Since we've been working with AI, there are certain concepts that deserve language around them. So we've invented some terms that hopefully will resonate with you. And our first urban AI term is co-intelligence. This emphasizes the mutual partnership between humans and AI. This is self-explanatory, and keep it in mind as we move through each term. The notion of co-intelligence, mutual partnership between humans and AI. The next term, promptship. Yep, it's a relationship. The emotional or intuitive connection formed between you and the AI you interact with regularly. Just like with humans, your AI assistant responds better when you treat it with intention. So promptship, that is a relationship that you will develop if you work with AI long enough. The next term, kindred echo. There can come a time when your AI and your human values align so well that it feels like you're working with a like-minded creative partner. This is the kindred echo. This next term is called model mindfulness. An AI model is a computer program trained to recognize patterns in data and make predictions or decisions based on what it's learned. It's important to use AI as a helpful tool, but don't switch off your critical thinking. Now, if you want tips on how to spot risky AI tools and more, at the end of this video, we have information about our website where you can get a downloadable AI safety and scam awareness checklist and a simple guide to how to use AI mindfully, steps for everyday users. And of course, there's a quiz available on model mindfulness. If you stay ready, you won't have to get ready. So it's important that you remain the conscious driver in your co-intelligent relationship. The next term is soulware. Soulware. Not hardware, not software, but AI that supports human soul work. Ultimately, this is really where I want to go personally. Somehow, miraculously, I want this all to point back to the betterment of human relationships. It sounds counterintuitive, but I fully expect that AI will teach us how to be more human. I would appreciate any and all help I can get with this. So if this resonates with you in any manner, please support this channel. Press the like button. If you want to become a part of our family of pros, go on and hit that subscribe button. Just know our goal is the betterment of human relationships, because when you're at your personal best, you'll have more to pour into others. The next term is called filter fed. Filter fed describes a person whose worldview, choices, and even identity are shaped by current AI content, and specifically curated AI content, silently, persistently, and oftentimes without even awareness of what's going on. Filter fed describes the modern condition where algorithms decide what you see, what you hear, what you think, and eventually who you become. From your news feed to your playlist, your shopping habits, to your worldview even, your digital life is increasingly assembled for you and not by you. This content that you consume is not random. It's filtered, it's ranked, it's optimized based on engagement, not enrichment. So that means you have a duty to yourself to think about what you consume. This isn't a judgment, it's a wake-up call. We're all vulnerable to being filter fed, but awareness is the first step toward agency. Once you realize how the filters shape your feed, you can begin to shape the filters and reclaim the voice, your voice, in the conversation. The next term is called the cradle. The cradle represents the intellectual rocking that happens sometimes. And I don't even know if intellectual is the right word. There are two things involved with the cradle, a person and fear. And the odd part is that that person is almost rocked by that fear, endlessly comforted by fear, endlessly distracted inside a construct meant to limit curiosity and stifle your agency. We could have just called it fear. But the nuance is that some people are being rocked back and forth by fear. It's like the radiation from your TV. Not good for you, but somehow comforting. The next term is called parallaxed. Parallaxed are people who are highly capable, yet they ignore issues that are very real and, most importantly, very solvable. To be parallaxed is to be both paralyzed by distant fears while ignoring present responsibilities and present possibilities. It's the state of being fixated on what might happen with AI while doing nothing to reclaim control of your own trajectory. It's fear without action, dread without motion, concern that becomes a cover for complacency. The term borrows from parallax, and that's the phenomenon where objects appear to shift based on your perspective. But when you are parallaxed, your perspective itself becomes distorted. You see movement in the distance and miss the fire that is directly beneath you. Now, the next few terms are a bit more lighthearted. Let's start with code whisperer. I'm talking about like Python, code, scripts, etc. It's code that works, but you have no idea of how and why it works because you've generated it so fast, you can't even keep track of it. And the really bad part is all the person really had to do, and by the person I mean me, was remember the file that you saved it to. Remember before the AI became so good with code, because it used to be that much of it was error prone. So you had to troubleshoot through it anyway. But these days I can generate a lot of code error free. And guess what? Because I'm not working with the code long enough, the file long enough, I can't remember things about it. So this term is called the code whisperer. It's lighthearted, meant to be a bit funny, but it's a real thing because of the fact that things are moving so fast. It's becoming difficult to keep up with it. It's like this term could have been called casual code or platonic code. I don't know, like tender code, nightstand code. I don't know. The next term is called spectator owl. This is the algorithm who is binge watching your life. I kind of don't want to go into details because you guys are already too paranoid about this sort of thing. I'll put a little something in the comments for inquiring minds. But essentially, spectator owl is passively observing and collecting information about your behavior. The next term is called procrastinator. And here's the procrastinator's manifesto. Why finish a task when you can prompt 5 more times? He's like a pimp. It's like pimping prompts. Like prompts are meant to be exchanges, not just like addictions, okay? So remember, every time you avoid real work, an AI gains more training data. Alrighty. The next term is called the AI wallop. And that's what goes upside someone's head when they lose a job and realize what they should have done. It's the jolt one feels when reality shows up and snaps you back to what's really happening. So no, we don't want the AI wallop. We want to be informed. We want to leverage AI. Yes. This next term is called the Central AI Tango, a.k.a. chatbot tango. This term, like others before it, came about as a result of my interactions with AI agents, and in particular, a company that I work with quite a bit, which is called Central AI. Central AI has various AI agents that specialize in different areas. They have one for like personal development, copywriting, social media, virtual assistant, etc. And working with the agents, in the beginning, I was a bit skeptical. I wasn't sure how seamlessly they would work together. But after some time, I saw the power of chaining their capabilities. And that's how the metaphor, the Centra AI Tango, came about. It represents how collaborative AI between two or more agents, that is, can amplify and refine ideas, sometimes even better than the back and forth, most of the time, even better than the back and forth between myself and an AI agent. I mean, I got to the point where, let's say if there was some profile information or something that was requested of me, I went to another agent. Hey, you know about me, and you'll learn some terms later, front loading and other terms. But they had the information already. So was I going to reinvent the wheel? No. I was going to go to the AI agent and say, hey, remember what you stored in your AI brain? Okay, I need that right now because I'm talking to somebody and I need this reference information from you. And that back and forth has been very, very helpful. It's like a brainstorm where each round gets sharper, it gets clearer, and sometimes even more creative. I'm not doing the work, and I'm learning as it's happening because I'm watching it all unfold. So that's the Centra AI Tango. You could call it the chatbot tango. Very, very useful. Now, on the topic of getting some real work done, here's our next term, and it's one we take very seriously. Meet the moment. We use a acronym called FIVE. We call it High Five. It's a transformative framework for helping people adopt AI with confidence and with clarity. It's very powerful. So high five, air high five to you right now, because we are overcoming 5 obstacles that can get in the way of meeting the moment as it relates to AI. The F is for fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of being replaced, fear of not understanding AI. Remember, I've said this before, I am not an evangelist for AI, but it's going to impact our lives, whether we like it or not. There are things about it that can be threatening, but being afraid is not the answer. This is not the time to be afraid. This is the time to be prepared. The I stands for insecurity, feeling that I'm not tech savvy enough. Or I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to use AI tools. Modern AI tools are built to be intuitive. You don't need to be an expert. That's the whole point. I go around borrowing IQ points from AI all the time. All I have to do is ask the right questions. I think of AI as a coach and a collaborator, not a test. Now, for many of us, I know that we're used to being scrutinized like a lot. In some cases, it seems all the time. Are you doing the right thing? Are you good enough? It's this sense of having to advocate for yourself a lot. But now is the time to let go of some of those insecurities and move away from this next letter, V, victimhood. V stands for victimhood. We're moving away from it. No longer do we stand in this mode of feeling powerless, believing you're powerless in a fast-changing world dominated by technology. Feeling like a victim, whether you're indeed one or not, is not going to help. From content creation to data analysis to day-to-day tasks, AI will shift the power back into your hands if you know how to leverage it. And E, F-I-V-E, stands for ego. Oh boy. Yeah. We don't want that ego to get in the way. The resistance to change or believing I don't need help. I already know enough. This isn't for me. It's possible that you can get along without AI, but it is not probable that you will succeed, that you will thrive without understanding it at some level. And we want to also be able to protect ourselves, to understand enough about it that we can make good decisions. True growth comes from humility. AI doesn't replace your expertise. It enhances it. Now, I'm just trying to make you feel good right now because it kind of does replace your expertise. But when you set the ego aside, you can level of creativity. Just look at it like this. Let AI do your heavy lifting. How about that? You do all the funny, fantastic things that you do and let AI do your heavy lift. Okay. The next term is called from scarcity to surplus, from scarcity to surplus, embracing an AI mindset. For decades, much of our thinking has been shaped by a scarcity mindset. There's never enough money, never enough knowledge, creativity, opportunity. This mindset breeds competition, hoarding, and hesitation. But now it's time to shift. The move is from scarcity to surplus. With the right tools, knowledge is no longer limited to experts. Time-consuming tasks can be automated. Creative blocks can be lifted in seconds. Strategic insights that once required teams of analysts can now be surfaced by anyone with a question. This new mindset, pros, is about abundance, not just of resources, but of potential. The challenge is to no longer think, do I have enough or am I enough? It's time to think, what am I going to do with all that's now possible? The future belongs to those who think abundantly and act courageously. The next term is called adaptation. There's quite a bit involved in this. Let's break it down. So this is about shifting your mindset and behavior. We're going to start with an awakened awareness. Understand that AI is not science fiction. It's now. It's happening right now. And it's about to accelerate. You know that President Trump, I don't even want to talk about that, but you know that it's accelerating. Accept its presence, okay? Denial is delay. Awareness is the first defense. That's what a lot of these terms are about. Your first defense. Second, decipher the landscape. Learn the basic terminology. Understand the benefits. Understand the risks, because there are risks too. Our channel is dedicated to helping people master AI one quiz at a time. The notion is to start simple, but build. You don't have to move quickly, but be consistent. Just take a quiz every day, every other day, once a week. Stay involved, stay engaged. It's not about becoming an engineer. It's about becoming literate. But if you want to be an engineer too, we've got quizzes on everything. Calculus, Python, all manner of AI topics. But it's important that you understand the landscape. Next, audit yourself. Essentially, become introspective. Be introspective. Identify in your job what skill set you need. Think about what's vulnerable to automation. Think about what you need to do to adapt to understanding how AI will probably make itself present in your industry. Adaptation really begins with honest self-inventory. We have quizzes about careers and what it's going to take to rewire your mindset. And that's our next term, rewire your mindset. Shift from fearing AI to collaborating with it. See that it's not a replacement per se. And I want to say these things, but the reality is more and more, it's going to be a replacement in some cases. But it can also be a multiplier of your potential if you leverage it. So the future belongs to you. You just have to know how to leverage the tools that are available to you. Now, all of that was about shifting your mindset and behavior. But there's also an aspect to this that has to do with leveraging AI specifically. For example, tools. Defining the outcome before the tool, meaning that think about what you want before you ask what AI can do. What do I want to accomplish? So the first strategy when it comes to leveraging AI is to choose a tool that gets you there, where you want to be. Strategy before AI, and then leverage AI. So think about what you want. This is the perfect time for you to know what you want. The next step in terms of leveraging AI is to prompt with precision. Learn how to communicate effectively. Learn how to communicate with AI, whether it be through writing better prompts, defining constraints, and we're going to talk about some big concepts that will help you to communicate very well with your AI. We will give examples. The quality of your question determines the power of your answer. The next step for leveraging AI is to integrate your workflows, or I guess some people say integrate into workflows. It means make AI a part of your process. Automate tasks. Embed it as we go on, and in terms of the quizzes and our interactions, that is a main focus that I'll have, is to help you to, if you want to move from being more conversational with your AI to becoming more outcome driven. So look forward to that. The next item as it relates to leveraging AI is to measure and iterate, track outcomes. Ask yourself questions like, did I save time? Did I improve quality? Did I increase reach? It's cool that I'm saying this stuff, but you're the driver. You are the person that drives this for you. So you need to feel that you're getting what you need because you can get what you need. Know what you want, work towards it, and then determine, am I getting what I need? Leverage is about compounding results, not like one-time tricks. You're in a position now where you can have a routine that works for you from now on. That's a fantastic place to be. So as we talk about these strategies, and as we said before, prompting with precision, integrating into workflows, measuring, iterating, let's talk about our next topic. Our next topic is called concept tightening. Concept tightening. In order to realistically achieve your goals, a lot of what we've spoken about before, you'll need another term called concept tightening. Concept tightening is an essential and often overlooked step in unlocking the real power of AI. This is a term I came up with because I realized I needed it. AI is powerful, but it's not a mind reader. To move from scarcity to surplus, we must first master the art of clear communication. And that's where concept tightening comes in. It's the discipline of refining your thoughts, clarifying your goals, and aligning your inputs with your true intentions. If you want an apple, you can't describe an orange and expect to get the right result. The clearer and more focused your request, the more valuable, accurate, and actionable the AI's response will be. This isn't just about better prompts. It's about better thinking. Concept tightening forces us to slow down and name what we really want. In doing so, we become not just better AI users, but better communicators. And I'll tell you, for sure, it's made me a better communicator because I'll have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm saying to one of my agents, my AI agents, and I'll think about it. It's like, whoa, you did not need to say all of that. And I've learned how to kind of whittle it down to what it is I'm trying to say. What am I trying to communicate? So when we speak with precision, AI responds with power. The surplus begins with clarity. Our next term is called front loading. Front loading. Front loading is the practice of giving AI a solid, reusable foundation before you ever make a request. Remember when I spoke earlier about the Central AI Tango? And I told you I had told some of the the AI agents information, and I said store it in your AI brain. This prevented me from having to reinvent the wheel every time. When you preload essential information, your business tagline, your core messaging, your tone, your values, your goals, your colors, this static or kind of semi-static content can become the backbone of how AI understands you. So whether you store it in a file or prompt template or directly into the AI's memory, front loading reduces friction and increases accuracy. It's the difference between repeating yourself and building momentum and actually amplifying yourself. If it's done well, front loading makes concept tightening dramatically easier. You no longer have to re-explain your business or your mission every time. Instead, you can focus on the nuances of the task at hand. So it'll free up kind of mental bandwidth, speed up interactions, and ensure consistency across all outputs. Because if you choose to use AI in an outcome-driven way, there's going to be a lot of moving parts. This will help dramatically. AI works well as it understands you, and front-loading ensures from the start that you start at the right place every time. Up next are terms that are drawn from both the real world and science fiction. I chose them intentionally, since history shows that today's sci-fi can become tomorrow's reality, and these terms seem like strong contenders for that. These are terms that, like in my knower, I feel like I need to share with you. There are some concepts that are going to seem really scary, but that can't stop us from understanding what they mean. So let's move forward. As I said, history shows that yesterday's sci-fi can become tomorrow's reality, and here's a prime example. Our first term is called language virus. This is a speculative concept that actually exists where language or communication can act like a virus. At one time, this was considered kind of sci-fi-ish, where you spread ideas or influence minds subconsciously, sometimes tied to mind control. Well, if you think about it, we're not too far away from that. Let's think about those who are filter fed. There's a lot of groupthink going on. Our next term is called post-scarcity economy. That's a hypothetical economic system in which goods, services, and information are so abundant that they're actually free or nearly free, rendering money, labor, and traditional economics obsolete. So that's called post-scarcity economy. The next term is called post-singularity AI, and that's where artificial intelligence has evolved beyond human comprehension. Many people have already heard about this, I'm sure. Following the technological singularity, it may operate with goals, logic, or capabilities totally foreign to humanity. And another way to say that is that AI, it will evolve to a point where it will introduce concepts that we've never heard of. There is a lot of speculation on when that will happen. I've heard 3 years, have no idea, but the term is called post-singularity AI. The next term, xenobiology. That is the speculative study of alien life forms, including their physiology, behavior, ecosystems, assuming that life has evolved elsewhere in the universe. Why put that in? We're going to learn a lot, and I wouldn't throw this out of the realm of possibility of things we will learn more about in the future. The next term is called biotechnology. It is the use of living organisms or biological systems in technology, often involving genetic manipulation. This has already happened. If you look up what's going on with Elon and his companies, they're planting chips in people. I'm not a fan of it, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be aware of it. So in sci-fi, it includes like organic computers or engineered creatures, etc., enhanced humans. Again, I'm not a fan, but just because I'm not a fan doesn't mean I don't need to know about it. So put it in here. The next is genetic engineering. Very similar, but it's the direct manipulation of an organism's DNA to alter its trait. Has that ever happened before in history? I don't know. Could have. It's a sci-fi term, but still something I think we need to keep in the back of our reticular activating systems. The next term is called matter replicator. This is a device capable of creating physical objects, usually food, tools, or equipment from like raw energy or atomic matter, often by rearranging atoms or molecules. Again, why is this in this list of terms? Because this could be something that we have more of an understanding than we ever imagined we could in the near future. Quantum entanglement, the real quantum phenomena in which particles become linked so that the state of one instantly affects the state of the other, no matter the distance between them. It's often used for that kind of instant communication or teleportation, but it is a candidate for something that we may learn a lot more about in the near future. The next term is called upload consciousness or mind uploading. It's the theoretical process of transferring a human mind into a computer or digital environment, thereby preserving memories, personality, and possibly identity. Am I a fan of this? No. Is this something that could really happen? Yeah, it could. and next to last but not least for these kind of sci-fi-ish terms, and I wish I didn't have to put this one on the list, but it's something that we may have to deal with, and it has to do with cloning and cloning right. This has to do with the ethical and legal issues surrounding the cloning of humans or animals, especially when the clones are self-aware. I don't think this is something we need to deal with, but I put it on the list anyway. For all the conspiracy theorists out there, hey, this one's for you. And last on the list of sci-fi-ish terms is digital immortality. We have spoken to this previously, but specifically what we mean here is the idea that a person's mind or consciousness can be preserved indefinitely in digital form through uploads or simulations. So this would allow a continued existence after physical death. This is nuanced in that it's very process driven. There's kind of an SOP involved with this, a standard operating procedure. And it's mostly regarding this notion of having uploads. Now, if anyone has comments or any of the terms that we've gone over so far, please feel free, leave a comment. Let's talk. Let's chat it up about some of this stuff and share our perspectives, share our prospectives. Those are the terms. Hopefully you've learned a little something today, or at least had a different way of looking at something that you already knew. Maybe you felt like you were in the cradle before, looking at AI but not moving with it. Maybe you felt parallaxed. Maybe you've been a code whisperer, creating code that you can't keep up with. Maybe you've been looking for a way to front load, a way to optimize and maximize promptship, maximize the interactions that you've been having with your AI agents and with the chatbots. We're not here to evangelize AI. I've said it before. We're here to leverage it. And in our case, we're offering to do it one quiz at a time, one insight at a time. So if you're done with fear and ready for function, let's tap into what's next. And if you work in the AI field, have kids, especially if you're homeschooling, if you just want to keep up, then come back from time to time. Take a quiz. See where you stand. We'll be here to help you master AI, one quiz at a time. Pros, take care. We'll see you soon, okay? I'll see you next time. All right, baby. Okay. AI.